1, 2, 3, 4. Hi there, Liam Ward here at LearnTheHarmonica.com. We're going to be doing Key to the Highway, and we're doing a Sonny Terry style version of this. So this isn't a direct transcription of a Sonny Terry version of this song, but that's because there are several versions that Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee did of this song. So I'm not really sure what the definitive version is, if there is a definitive version. I've got a few different versions. So this is my Sonny Terry style thing based on the ones that I've heard him doing. So we're going to go round, loop round the chords of the song, the chord progression twice. So just as I played there in the intro to this video. So I've split it up into two parts in the tab. We've got 10 lines of tab basically, and they're going to be split up into two sets of 5. So it's sort of 2 solos worth. You're going to need some bends for this. Ideally you want to be tongue blocking. You can still play it if you're not tongue blocking. I'm going to tongue block most of it, I think. I might lip purse certain bits of it. But the tab is just a simple single note tab that, you know, I might do some slapping, some tongue blocking, and some other sort of bits in between some of these notes. I'll talk about those as I do them and as we get to that line in the tab. So if you're just playing the basic single note and you just want to play that lip purse, that's the version you want to do, then that's fine. Just follow the tab, which will be on the screen. So let's go straight into this and start with line 1. So the first line we're going to be doing sounds like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, wa, da, da, da. And we've got a bend in this line, so you've got to have your bends nice and clean. Oh, I should say before I go on, I'm on an A harmonica. Don't know if you can see that. So if you want to play along with me, you need an A harmonica. Most of the recordings of Sonny Terry are either on an A harmonica, or sometimes they seem to be either a B flat or an A flat. They might actually be those, or it might be that the recordings are warped. But I'm going to play an A harmonica since most of the recordings I have of him are using that key harmonica. So pick up your A harmonica and the line 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our first line. So line 1 on the tab on the screen you can see, and it's all on hole 3. And the main bulk of it is holding the whole hole 3 draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I'm playing this, I'm using my hands to get a sort of wah sound. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that gives it a sort of a nice country blues sort of sound to it that you don't get if you just articulate with your mouth. If you're just going, it's not the same. So I want to use my hands. So look at a lesson on this to get more info on this. But I'll just quickly say that what I'm trying to do is create a seal as much as I can around my hands. So my left hand holding the harmonica is normal, and then the right hand comes in and tries to cover it up so that there's very little air getting out, and that means when I take this off, pivot, and I'm pivoting on that joint there, so you can see opening up the space. When you do that, you get a quite distinctive sort of wah sound. So that's just something to bear in mind when you're articulating these three draw notes that you can see in the tab. Then that's something to bear in mind. But let's just talk about what the notes are first. So it's 3 draw, and then 3 draw 3 times, and then it's 3 draw second bend. Now you've got to get down to right bend on this. If you're not getting down to that second bend on 3 draw, then it's going to sound a bit dodgy. So this is a kind of a distinctive Sonny Terry kind of starting riff for Key to the Highway. He sort of, even though he varied it each time, this was really usually his starting riff. So I'm going wah 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 wah. So that's the first line. So just take this slowly and try and get that bend spot on. If you're not comfortable with your bend, you need to practice your bends really before you're going to be able to play this stuff. So that's line 1. In fact, what I'll do is I'm going to play lines 1 to 5 for you first, just so you get a sense of what we're going to go through. So this is lines 1 to 5 of the tab on your screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's lines 1 to 5. So we've just done line 1. And we'll go on to line 2 now. So line 2 sounds like this. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, what did I do? 1, ba ba dum. Practice with a clicking finger if you can. This is really useful practice for you. Because this starts between the clicks that I'm doing here. You might have noticed when I was playing this line that there's a bit of slapping going on. There's a bit of chordal sound, so it's not just single notes. But the basic notes that I'm playing are 4 draw, 4 blow, and it's 3 draw first bend, and then it's 2 draw. So. I was tongue blocking the notes, and I was giving a bit of a slap on each with my tongue. I was sort of slapping onto the harmonica. I don't know if you can see that. In fact, I think I was just doing it on the 4 blow. When I was going to the 4 blow, I was going just that 4 blow. So what I'm doing there is starting with a chordal sound. Sorry, blowing. And then I apply the tongue and tongue block it. So look at a lesson on tongue blocking if you haven't learnt tongue blocking. But we can just stick to the single notes for now if you need to. So get that finger clicking. So that's line 2. Then on to line 3. So far we've got. So that's line 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all there is to it. I think I was clicking it a long time then. So that's line 3. You've got to hold that 4 draw. That's why it's got the sort of dots after it, the little lines. So. So that's line 3. Again, I'm kind of slapping my way onto the, I think I'm slapping onto the 6 blow, because line 3 is just 4 draw and then 6 blow. So I'm slapping that, so you've got that contrast between the chord and then the single note, which gives that slap sound, that powerful, strong backing sound to your playing. But you can just do the single notes if you want to. So we've got 2 lines to go in this first solo. So I'll just play the thing again so you get a sense of where we are. So that's our next line. So line 4, and we've got 4 draw, 5 draw, and then 4 draw, and then we've got 4 draw bend up to 4 draw, and then 4 draw bend again, and then 3 draw 4 blow, 3 draw first bend, and then 2 draw twice. So. So the first part. Ba ba da. 4 draw, 5 draw, 4 draw. And then this bit's a bit tricky. You've got to have your bends spot on here. They're not distinct notes here. So this 4 draw bend, then 4 draw, and then 4 draw bend again, and then to the 3 draw. I'm not giving that first 4 draw bend much time. It's really just a bending up. It's kind of an accent to the note. I put it in there because I thought if I played how I want to play this and didn't put the bend in the tab, then it would be a bit confusing for you watching it. Oh, what's going on? That doesn't sound quite like a 4 draw straight. So instead of going, I'm actually just bending up a little bit to that 4 draw. So that's why I've put 4 draw bend, 4 draw, and then 4 draw bend again. But it's really a quick and subtle sort of. It's almost like I'm saying dwa, dwa. So. Da 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 da. So then that's halfway through the line 4, and then we've got, after the 3 draw, we have 4 blow, 3 draw first bend, and then 2 draw twice. So. So da 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 da. I hope you're playing that along with me and able to follow that. So let's go from the top again, lines 1 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I played line 5 there just at the end, and that's our final line in this first solo, and then we can go on to the next one. So first solo here is going to finish with this line, and it sounds like this. Now what I'm going to do is talk you through the simple tab that I've written down for this. What I'm playing is slightly more complex, but it involves some slapping again, so you can do a simpler version of this if you want to. So the simple version is just this. So that's 2 draw, 3 draw, 4 blow, 3 draw first bend, 2 draw, 2 draw second bend, and then 1 draw, 1 draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think some of the time I'm actually bending the 3 draw, so the second line, the second note in this line, I've got as just 3 draw straight, natural note without a bend, but you can bend that if you want. I think some of the time I'm bending it, some of the time I'm not. So you could play it like this. Or that's up to you. But that's the basics of the line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, back. Slow it down. But what I was actually doing when I was playing this the first time and playing at full speed, I was going. So what I'm actually doing is putting a little chord in between before each note, the first few notes at least, and then slapping the notes as I have done with some of the earlier notes that I've played. So definitely the first 3 notes. And then after that, less going on there, but again it's that slapping, so slapping my tongue on before playing the clean note, so starting with a chord and then the single note. If you're used to tongue slapping, tongue blocking, then cool, add that in and try and get the sound, or if not, just keep it simple. So that's line 5. What I'm going to do is play through the lines 1 to 5 again, just so you got a sense of that solo again, and you can try playing along with me if you'd like to. And then I'm going to go on to the second half of this, so lines 6 to 10. So I'll count us in. So a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Messed up a few notes there, I think, but you get a gist and you get an idea of the timing of those lines. So that's lines 1 to 5. We're now going to go on to lines 6 to 10. So, line 6 to 10 now, and the first line is basically 2 notes, 6 blow and then 5 draw. So, it's just the rhythm getting this one right, really. At its basis, it's just those 2 notes. I do a little bit of slapping with it, but we can just keep it really simple if we need to. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I do when I play this, instead of just playing those 2 single notes, I actually do a sort of chordal thing, just to lead me into them. So I'm kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's da ah. Which means that if I slow it right down, I'm sort of playing 1, 2, 3 draw, maybe 4 draw as well, just as an open mouth sort of chordal thing. Probably is whole 4 as well, yeah. Just before I actually tongue slap the note. So if I do it with the 6th blow, it sounds like this. Like that. And then it's the same 1, 2, 3 draw, maybe 4 as well, before I slap the 5 draw as well. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, ah. You can just practice it over and over like that if you want to. So that's what I'm playing for that, but you can just keep it just to the single notes if you want. But you kind of want to get the rhythm right, and if you've got that chordal thing before, it actually helps you rhythmically, I think, because you're going ba, ba, instead of having to start the notes kind of on and off beat, which is a bit difficult to do. But that's the first line, so line 6. And then line 7 is actually just the same as line 2. So we've done it in the first time around this solo. So it sounds like this. So you should recognise that from line 2. And line 8 is the same as line 3. So again, just... So if I play line 6, 7 and 8 together, we've got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first 3 lines of this solo. So line 7 and 8 you should be able to get quick enough if you've already done the first 5 lines. So we've got 2 lines to go. This next line is a cool one. It's really cool. It sounds like this. Yeah, there we go. So it's slightly different from line 4, which would be our equivalent in the first time round. So line 9 is 4 blow, 4 blow, 4 blow, 4 draw, bend, and then 4 draw, and then it's 4 draw, bend again, 4 draw, 4 draw, bend, 3 draw, 2 draw. That's our line. Now what's different here from line 4 is the starting part of this line, because we're starting with 4 blow and bending then up to the 4 draw, but it does finish in a similar way to line 4. So you've got that same rundown where you've got this slight bend on the 4 draw, the bend up and then down again. So that's, if you look at line 9, the second half of line 9. So on the second line of number 9, it's that part. But the first part of line 9 is. Now, when I was doing it, I was doing the wah sort of thing with my hand again, so getting a. I think that really adds to the sound of this piece. Instead of just, you know. So that's our line 9. Line 10, we're going to have to holler in this one, to kind of wail. So after we played line 9, so I'm not the best wailer in the world, but this is a really sort of famous Sonny Terry style thing. Sonny Terry was doing this all the time in a lot of his stuff, so really nice to have this if you want to put this in. So line 10 is just woo, and that's all there is to it. So I've just written it down as woo. So just have a go at that. That's the kind of thing he'd be doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's one of those things that people always remember about Sonny Terry, is these sort of things he did. So you just got to come away from the harp a little bit and just give it a bit of a squeal. That sort of thing. That's what he's doing. And then the notes after that are just 2 draw twice, and then it's 2 draw second bend, 1 draw, 1 draw. So I'll play 9 and 10, lines 9 and 10 together for you. So there you go. That's the final part of the solo there. So when you put it all together, you get something that sounds like this. I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll see you again soon. Cheers. 1, 2, 3, 4.